Now, you mentioned it there, too, where, getting that chemistry going in that first game. Obviously, Baker Mayfield getting ahead of it. You mentioned it in your article, the fact that, last week he hosted a passing camp with Jarvis Landry, among others, down there in Florida. Tell us a little bit about what you heard from down there and, what you can expect when it comes to that chemistry between Mayfield and those receivers.
Well, when I talked to Mo Wells, the VP of House of Athlete, he talked about he was on the field with those guys each day while they were down there, and he said, of course, the first day or so you're kind of just knocking off the rust a little bit, but he watched them as the days went by, just get better and better and have that timing really down, and they looked sharp and they looked crisp. He raved about how good Baker Mayfield looked. He actually said in terms of Jarvis that he was dealing with a few things last year, probably residue or leftover from the hip surgery that he had. Sometimes you have a secondary issue after that. So he had some things that he was dealing with last year. And Mo talked about how they've worked through a lot of those issues. And now Jarvis really is feeling great, and how he's mentoring Anthony Schwartz. In terms of Schwartz, he's the one with all the speed, but as Mo said, you have to learn to control that speed so that you can use it for good football. And just a lot of good stuff going down there in Florida.
Well, it's great to hear. Great to hear. And, you mentioned it with Landry. Obviously, him and Baker, they'd seem to really get into a rhythm as the season went on. Do you feel like once you kind of knock that rust off when it comes to the injury issue that he was dealing with last year, do you think that we can expect even more from Jarvis this year, especially given the other options that they have on the outside to free him up as well?
Yeah, I think you can expect more from everybody this year in a more explosive offense from day one. Now, last year, they didn't really sort of get explosive until midway through the season. I mean, the lights really kind of started coming on in that Bengals game when Baker ended up throwing those 5 touchdown passes, and it just kind of continued on from there. Well, now they'll have the benefit of that from the beginning of the season. And I think everybody will be able to eat. All those skill players are hungry. They're going to get fed, and they're all excited about that. So that'll be good for them. The only thing that they're going to have to watch out for is that teams have their film from last year. They're going to know tendencies. They're going to try to stop Baker from doing some of the things that he did really well, and they're going to have to keep pushing it forward and changing and adapting.